13, baby. It's week 13. Deshaun Watson's back. I don't know how I feel about that. It's week 13. It's great for, at least it's great for, it's great for Nick Chubb. It's great for Amari Cooper. It's great for Donovan Peoples-Jones, who've been screaming to pick up off waiver wires, trade for him all season long. I hope you did. It's time. It's DPJ time. Wish David Njoku was playing this week. I don't know why on YouTube right now it looks weird. The lighting looks weird. Maybe it's just my screen. But tell me in the comment. I don't know. Does the back look purplish? The walls in the background, it's kind of like a purple tint. I'm as white as a ghost. I don't know what's going on with that. Looks normal on TikTok, but I don't know what's going on. Settings are exactly the same as they always are. No idea. I tried to mess around with it a little bit before the show, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're already later than we usually are, at least Saturday night shows. We're just going to go live. They don't need to look at me anyway. White as a ghost. Don't know why. Right here. I mean, this front area looks fantastic. The rest of it looks like shit. I don't know. Maybe it's just my, I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? It's week 13. That's what we're here for. Here for your questions. Talk some Underdog plays. If you're not on Underdog yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You can draft teams for Underdog playoff best ball right now. Right now. And if you think that you know who is going to be in the playoffs and who's going to go far into the playoffs, you have quite the edge, quite the upper hand on the competition. So get on Underdog Fantasy and use our promo code YARDSPER. That's all one word, YARDSPER. You get a $100 deposit match. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I've been drafting a bunch of playoff best ball teams. I'm pumped. I can't believe we're already almost at the playoffs. Almost there. It's kind of bittersweet. It's exciting, to get to the playoffs. I mean, that's the best time of football, right? Playoff football, that's the best time of the year. Super Bowl, conference champion, all that shit. Fantasy playoffs are coming. As a fantasy football content creator, it's kind of nice, get to the end of the season. You take a little bit of break before we get into rookie work. But then it's like, you know what? This fucking sucks. The season's over. And it just goes like that. And it does suck. You miss it, Well, let's get to your questions. That's what we're here for, right? We got one on YouTube from Luca asking, do I trade Mike Evans for Garrett Wilson and Hollywood Brown? I have no other receivers rostered except A.J. Brown. 12-man, half PPR. I'm 6-6, must win. If you're going to be starting both Garrett Wilson and Hollywood Brown, yeah, I'd make the deal. I mean, Tom Brady and Mike Evans, they just don't. Something's off. Something's off with Brady and Evans right now. They're not connecting. Obviously, that whole offense has been off this whole season. It's just been weird. It's been weird. Marquise Brown, he came back. Oh, they said, when he comes back, he's gonna be on a pitch count. He's gonna be on a snap count. Yeah, no, he played like 90-something% of the snaps. He had a 28% target share. Out targeted DeAndre Hopkins. Fuck out of here with your bullshit pitch count. These NFL coaches lie, man. We know they lie, and still we keep falling for it. So yeah, if I can go get Garrett Wilson and Hollywood Brown, I'm going to start both of those guys in a must win. I'm comfortable with that. What else we got? Amari Cooper or Christian Watson or Jamar Chase? I think we're going to go Jamar Chase there. I would consider Amari Cooper, but there's a lot of variables with all three of those guys. Aaron Rodgers is injured. Watson has been getting by on great touchdown luck. Not really getting a massive target share or anything, not commanding a ton of targets. But he's just scoring touchdowns, which, as we saw with like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that luck is going to dry up at some point. Chase coming off a fractured hip. I mean, I think we're underestimating the severity of the injury he's coming off of. A fracture in his hip. I mean, are we really expecting him to be back in like normal level Jamar Chase like that? I'm skeptical. And then you got Amari Cooper. Yeah, he's got the quarterback upgrade, but Deshaun Watson, it's his first game back. He hasn't played in 2 years, other than the preseason. So there's question marks there as well. So I understand this one being tough. I'd go Jamar Chase. I know, but I think that's where I would go. But it's kind of a flip a coin between him and Amari Cooper. I'm not considering Christian Watson over those two guys, though. David Montgomery, Rachaad White, Jamal Williams, or Jeff Wilson. Full PPR. Leonard Fournette's back, so that makes it tough to start White over some of these guys. Although I do think White is still startable, but he's more of like a low-end RB2, high-end RB3, rather than the locked-in must-start RB1 that he was last week. Jeff Wilson. He also has Raheem Mostert coming back this week. Dave Montgomery's got that backfield to himself. Justin Fields is back. I think that's where we go. I think I'd go David Montgomery. Let's look at my rankings. Let's see. I think I'm going to have Montgomery ranked ahead. Let's just look at the rankings to confirm my current feeling of the situation. I actually have Jeff Wilson ranked number one of those out of those running backs, and even Jamal Williams over David Montgomery. I might have to change those rankings, but it's close. When it all comes down to it, I think we go with the running back in the best offense, and that's Jeff Wilson. Komet or Hurst? I'll go Komet. Hurst benefited from Jamar Chase being out. Jamar Chase is not back. Not that he's not still going to produce, but I'm more comfortable with Komet. He's get Justin Fields back this week. Isaiah Pacheco or Latavius Murray? I hate starting Latavius Murray. It's so gross. It's disgusting. It's Latavius Murray. But he played, 82% of the snaps last week against the Ravens? Who's the other one? Pacheco? Yeah. No, this week's against the Ravens. I don't know what I was thinking. This week's against the Ravens for Latavius Murray. He's going to get the backfield to himself, but it's a terrible offense, a low-scoring game, tough defense. Pacheco, I think I'm going to go Pacheco. That's going to be a shootout game. He's going to have opportunities. They're going to have red zone opportunities. Now, do they give it to him? I don't know, but I think you got a better chance of Isaiah Pacheco scoring 2 touchdowns than you do Latavius Murray. They started to get Pacheco a little bit involved in the passing game, which is really, really exciting. That would really, really insulate his fantasy value and make him no longer game script dependent. And that's where I'm worried about Pacheco this week, is the game script. This could be a shootout, high-scoring game, needing to score a lot of points against the Bengals. Big difference from last week when they're up the whole game playing against a joke of a Rams team. And you can just feed a guy like Pacheco. This could be more of a Jerick McKinnon game. But like I said, in this offense, in this game environment, it's easy to see a path where Isaiah Pacheco, even if he gets 10 carries for 45 yards, but he falls into the end zone twice. I mean, that's easy to see that in a game like this against the Bengals. I'm going to go Pacheco there. I'm going to go Pacheco. You know how much I love Pacheco. Can't sit him for Latavius freaking Murray. Pick 2, Zonovan Knight. I always lose his questions. Zonovan Knight, Latavius Murray, Alvin Kamara, Miles Sanders, Kyren Williams. I do like Zonovan Knight as a streamer this week, but I don't think we're starting him over most of these guys. So we're gonna go Miles Sanders. We're gonna go Kamara. The classics. We'll stick with the classics. Kamara, Miles Sanders. I'm not gonna get too cute with Kyren Williams, though he's got a nice matchup against the Seahawks. But his offense is just putrid. And you can't trust a running back week in, week out in that. I don't care that he has this significant, he played 70% of the snaps last week. Cam Akers only out there for 30%. He's getting targets. I mean, he was a really solid receiver coming out of Notre Dame. But when you're in that bad of an offense, it almost doesn't matter what your role is. I mean, we're seeing that with, a little bit of Dameon Pierce. We see that with a lot of guys sometimes, especially at this point in the year. Saquon, even the last few weeks, that Giants offense has been down, and he's not producing like he was earlier in the season. I'm going to go Kamara and Miles Sanders there. I still can't get over how terrible the camera is looking on YouTube right now. That's a little bit better, right? That's a little bit better. Still purple, and I'm almost see-through. Who knows? I don't know. Knight or Swift at flex. I think I'm still gonna go DeAndre Swift here. But Knight is tempting. Knight is tempting. But I do have DeAndre Swift ranked a few spots ahead of Zonovan Knight. Last week, they did get Swift closer to his early season role, a little bit closer. He had a 22% target share, which was his season high. So that's exciting that, he may be coming back around closer to that normal role. And what we really need him to do is catch passes. And so 22% target share, that's nice. Hopefully that role stays up for DeAndre Swift. Start Kyren Williams or Gus Edwards. Kyren Williams or Gus Edwards. See, I know you say, it's tough out here, but you know what? You're probably playing in a big boy league. And we get some of these other questions where, should I start Aaron Jones or Christian McCaffrey? Take the fucking training wheels off and play in a real league. This guy's playing in a real league. Either that or his team is just decimated. But Gus Edwards or Kyren Williams. Gus Edwards, I was skeptical of playing Gus Edwards last week, right? He's coming back off the hamstring injury, which was caused by coming back off the knee injury. We see it all the times with these guys coming back from ACLs. They always suffer a hamstring within their first few weeks back. So I thought, okay, maybe he gets eased back into the lineup. They get Kenyon Drake. Justice Hill, is playing decent. We'll ease Edwards back in. That didn't really happen. And if 50% snap share, that's what he had. If that's easing him back in, then we got to be excited for this week. But he does have a tough matchup against the Broncos, right? But he's going to get the majority of the touches in that backfield. Kyren Williams, he also had a significant snap share. The first game without Darrell Henderson, he played 70% of the snaps. So this is Kyren Williams' backfield. Cam Akers is only out there for 30% of the time. So this is Williams' backfield. And he had a 12% target share, which is awesome. Like we were just talking about a minute ago. He's a good receiver coming out of Notre Dame. He's just slow. He doesn't have that elite burst explosion that we want, in a real true, I can't even think of the word. But I do have Gus Edwards ranked a few spots ahead of Kyren Williams because, yes, Kyren Williams has a decent matchup. Gus Edwards, not so much. But you look at the Ravens offense and you look at the Rams offense. I want the running back who's still in a good role in the far better offense. I don't give a fuck about the matchup. I want the running back in the good offense who's going to have a better chance of breaking off a little bit more of a run, picking up chunks, scoring touchdowns. That's what we want, right? So I'm going to go Gus Edwards. It is close because of Kyren Williams' role in the passing game, but let's go Gus. Pick 2, ETN. We got to go a little bit faster on these questions. Pick 2, ETN, Kamara, or Jamal Williams. I'm going to assume ETN is playing. I'm still skeptical. I don't care what Doug Peterson says. I'm still skeptical ETN is going to play. As of right now, we're assuming that he is. So we're going to go ETN. We got to assume that he's just good to go. If it wasn't for the injury, I'd be starting Travis Etienne as a top 5 running back this week. Because of the injury, I got him ranked as my RB10. Fantastic matchup against the Lions. I hope he's good to go and he starts and he is his normal self because he's going to eat up the Lions defense. So we're gonna go ETN, assuming he plays, and then we're gonna go Jamal Williams over Alvin Kamara. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go Williams over Kamara. He also has a good matchup in that same game against the Jaguars. He's not super touchdown dependent. He's getting enough carries. Kamara's just been almost dusty lately. And that offense is bad. Devontae Smith or Rachaad White? I'm going to go Rachaad White there. I know Leonard Fournette is back, but I do think that Rachaad White is still startable as a low-end RB2, high-end RB3. I have him ranked as my RB23. His involvement as a receiver out of the backfield should help him have, at least some decent value, even with Fournette. I mean, remember in that Germany game before Fournette's injury, Rachaad White started that game. And before the injury, he had out-touched Fournette 14-11. So I don't see why Leonard Fournette is going to come in and just take that RB1 job back. It's going to be like a 50-50 split, I think, with possibly a slight edge to Rachaad White. And then White's going to catch the passes. So I like White there. I totally forgot the question. I hope I answered it. I don't know if I did. I don't know. Oh, it was Devontae Smith or Rachaad White. We're going to go Rachaad White. Yeah. We got this. Fields or Lamar. Let's go Justin Fields. Lamar, I think I saw this week. I can't remember who tweeted out. Was it JJ Zacharyson? I don't know. Lamar Jackson hasn't finished as better than QB 10 since, was it week 3 or week 4? He hasn't been better than QB 10 since week 3. That's insane. He's not running as much. He's got a little bit of an injury. I think it was his hip. That is his hip that he's been dealing with. Maybe that's why he's not running so much. He doesn't have any freaking receivers. And that fact that he hasn't scored as a top 10 quarterback since week 3, week 4, that correlates with the Rashad Bateman injury. When Rashad Bateman initially went down, that was the last time. Since then, Lamar's been just okay, right? He hasn't been great. I mean, you can't blame him. He's got nobody to throw to. He's got Mark Andrews and Demarcus Robinson and James Prochet and Devin Duvernay. Like, what? What do we expect? What do we expect? So I'm definitely going Justin Fields there. He's been absolutely fantastic. And it was his non-throwing shoulder. Now, I'm a little concerned that he might not run quite as much if that shoulder is still bothering him, but that is his game. He's going to be without Darnell Mooney, so he's going to still run at least a little bit, right? Enough to at least be better than Lamar. Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper. No Mike Williams again this week, so that's good for Keenan Allen. Deshaun Watson's back for Amari Cooper, but it's also his first game in 2 fucking years. So with that said, I'm still going to go Amari Cooper. Tyler Lockett, we're picking 2 here. Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, Terry McLaurin. Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, Terry McLaurin. So we're going to go Chris Godwin. He's been quietly really good. Not like spectacular, but he's been really good. And I have Terry McLaurin ranked 1 spot ahead of Tyler Lockett. So that's what we'll do. We'll go McLaurin over Lockett. One of the things I'm concerned about with Lockett is the Rams are so bad that are they really going to ask Geno Smith to throw that much? They're just going to lean on Kenneth Walker all day, right? They're not going to. They got no Aaron Donald, so the running lanes will be there. I think they're just going to lean on Kenneth Walker, which is not going to be great for Tyler Lockett. So I will start Terry McLaurin over Lockett. Whoa, dude. This guy, Toby. Hey, yo, Toby. You're asking start Kyren Williams or Gus Edwards. Yes, I know it's rough out. We answered that question like 10 minutes ago, bro. If you're going to ask questions, at least pay attention when we answer it. The answer was Gus Edwards. I went on a whole... We talked for like 5 minutes about that question. Bro. I know it's the same guy because he put the... I know it's tough out here. Toby, pay attention. Toby. Hey. We're starting Gus Edwards over Kyren Williams. I already talked about it. Fields, Carr, or Watson? Oh, Fields. Fields or Burrow? That's when we get a little tougher. Fields or Burrow? Yeah. If it wasn't for coming off that injury, I'd say Fields. But Joe Burrow has a fantastic matchup against the Chiefs. Tore them up last year. Twice, I think, right? Twice? Playoffs and late in the regular season. I'm going to go Joe Burrow there. But I do have them ranked back-to-back. Joe Burrow is my QB4. Justin Fields is my QB5. I mean, you could flip a coin and it's gonna work out for you. Pick 2, Amari Cooper. Okay. Pick 2, Amari, Cooper, and Watson. Looks like you only got 2 players there. We're gonna go Amari, Cooper, and Watson. Mahomes or Hurts? Yeah, that's my QB1 and my QB2. I guess Mahomes, but Hurts is the second best option. I don't know. I don't get these questions. Pick 2, Pierce, White, Najee. I actually feel comfortable starting Najee Harris this week. Sounds like he's good to go health-wise. Fantastic matchup against the Falcons. So it comes down to Dameon Pierce or Rachaad White. I do have Dameon Pierce ranked 2 spots ahead of Rachaad White. Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams. Definitely Garrett Wilson. I definitely want to wait and see on Jameson Williams. I mean, this is a guy who is coming off a torn ACL, for one, never played a snap in the NFL, not just in a regular season game, but not in the preseason, not even in training camp. He wasn't with them in the offseason because he was rehabbing. I'm not ready to just start Jameson Williams. No freaking way, especially not over Garrett Wilson. Jameson is a bench stash. Let's just see what happens. Maybe he'll hit, maybe he won't, but I got to see it before I play him. He's more of a 2023 guy. Do I start Devontae Smith or Tyler Lockett? All right, Toby, we're answering your question. Devontae Smith or Tyler Lockett? Was that the question? Shit. I'm telling you to pay attention. I totally forgot the question already. Yeah, Devontae Smith or Tyler Lockett. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett. Despite my concerns that the Seahawks are just going to run it all day long, I'm still going to go Lockett over Devontae Smith. Miles Sanders or Travis Etienne? We're going to go Travis Etienne. Kamara or Rashad White? Give me Kamara. Miles Sanders. Oh, we just got that one. Pacheco or Jeff Wilson? Let's go Jeff Wilson. Antonio Gibson if he's healthy, or Miles Sanders. I'm going to go Miles Sanders there. Rashad White or Pacheco. Let's go Rashad White. Kirk. Pittman. Sutton. Benching one of these guys. Let's bench Sutton. Amari or DeAndre Hopkins rest of season. I guess we got to go Hopkins, but I do like Amari Cooper rest of season. We've been talking about him for 6 weeks. So you got to buy him. You got to buy him for this Deshaun Watson return. And he's been doing well even with Jacoby Brissett. But with that said, I would still prefer Hopkins rest of season. But they're probably both top 10 wide receivers rest of the year. Saquon or Kamara, we're definitely going Saquon there. Walker or Saquon Barkley, let's go Kenneth Walker. Like I talked about a few times. I think the Seahawks are just going to lean on the run game the whole game against the Rams. Terrible offense on the Rams side, so I'm not going to have to score a ton of points. They're not going to be incentivized to throw the ball a lot, and you got no ball in the middle of the defense. I wanted to go back to this question because it was a good one. I like these deeper league questions. Ty Johnson or Jaylen Warren? So I believe Jaylen Warren, correct me if I'm wrong. I know he's got a questionable designation, but I think he was a full participant in practice this week. And you got Najee with his injury. Great matchup against the Falcons. Ty Johnson, I know he ripped off a nice run last week, but I expect Zonovan Knight to play significantly ahead of Ty Johnson. And I actually expect, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I expect James Robinson to actually be active for this game. With no Michael Carter, I think they're going to activate Robinson, who was a healthy scratch last week, which was why we got Ty Johnson in the game. And I think he would play ahead of Ty Johnson. So I would go Jaylen Warren there. But those are the good questions. I like those ones. Conklin or Dulcich? Dulcich got off to a nice hot start, but he's been shit since, right? So yeah, I'm going to go Tyler Conklin. Let's go the revenge game narrative. The former Viking going against the Vikings. He's got Mike White as his quarterback. They should be throwing the ball a lot. It's going to, the Vikings, they're going to score. It's in Minnesota. So the Jets going to have to score a lot of points in order to compete with the Vikings. Which obviously will be good for the pass catchers. And speaking of the Jets having to throw the ball a lot, Underdog Fantasy, I don't know if you play on Underdog Fantasy, their pick'ems. One of their line for Mike White this week is 32.5 pass attempts. I am absolutely smashing the over on 32.5 pass attempts from Mike White. And if you are new to Underdog, definitely get on there. There's a lot to do on there. It's not just the over-unders, but you can draft teams right now for best ball playoff best ball, and use our promo code yards per. It's all one word, yards per. On Underdog Fantasy, you'll get a $100 deposit bonus. So free money, do it, take advantage. I'm addicted to Underdog. And I win a lot of money on there every week. Yeah, I like DraftKings, but Underdog is different than DraftKings. So DraftKings, you're making a lineup, right? You're making a lineup just like you do on FanDuel. You're setting a lineup, right? Underdog, you can play DFS on Underdog. You can also do the over-unders, all that stuff. But their version of DFS is you're actually drafting a team. The reason we love fantasy football is the draft, right? Now you can draft a brand new team every single week on Underdog. Their Battle Royale tournament. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, it's addicting. But definitely use that promo code yards per. Get your free $100. And spend it on the over on White. And we got other Underdog plays. I put them out every week. Yardsperfantasy.com. I have an Underdog article where I put out my favorite 10 or so picks that I'm playing every week. Another one of the ones that I'm smashing the over on is Jalen Waddle, 66.5 receiving yards. Definitely smashing that over. But I got all my picks on yards per fantasy, so check that out. Anyway, DeAndre Swift or Rachaad White. We're really leaning on both of these guys. Hoping. Is that a word? Hoping? No. Hoping that they're going to catch passes, right? So Rachaad White had a nice 21% target share last week. DeAndre Swift, nice 22% target share. But then you got White. He's getting Leonard Fournette back. I still expect White to operate ahead of Fournette, but it's going to be close. So between Swift and White, I think I would lean. Yeah, I'm going to lean Rachaad White still. Very close. Jameson Williams or Nico Collins or Christian Watson. Jameson Williams, Nico Collins, Christian Watson. I think we got to go Christian Watson here. He's been running hot. Let's just ride him. Rachaad White or Brandon Ayuk. I don't know what that noise. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. I'm pretty much starting anybody. Anytime an offense plays against the Dolphins, I'm going to start them. And it's not because the Dolphins have a terrible defense. They don't. But they've got such a great offense that it incentivizes the other team to drop back and throw the ball a bunch of times, pedal to the metal the whole game, score a bunch of points. And that's going to be really, really good for Brandon Ayuk, especially with Debo being banged up, Christian McCaffrey being banged up, no Elijah Mitchell. So, I'll go Ayuk there for sure. Josh Palmer or Tyler Lockett. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett there. Treylon Burks or Zay Jones. Yeah, that one's a good one. Treylon Burks has been coming on lately. He's starting to break out, which is exciting. But so is Zay Jones. Zay Jones has been one of my biggest hits from the preseason this year. Drafted him at the end of your drafts, picking him up off the waiver wire. And he played really, really well last week. He had a 38% target share last week, which is, that's fantastic. He's got a great matchup against the Lions. Travis Etienne may or may not play, and assuming he does, he may be limited a little bit. So that could incentivize them to throw the ball a little bit more, which obviously is going to help somebody like Zay Jones. I totally forgot the question. It was Zay Jones and shit. I do that too much. I get too excited talking about one player and I forget who the other player was. I'm looking at my rankings, see if I can figure. Oh, Treylon Burks. It was Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks or Zay Jones. And funny enough, I actually have them ranked very, very closely. I have Treylon Burks as my wide receiver 32, Zay Jones as my wide receiver 34. Burks, you got to consider, though, Burks has Darius Slay on one side. I keep fucking blanking on the other cornerback's name. I did it earlier in the week. Hold on. I have it right here. Because I did my Underdog write-ups, and I was fucking pissed off at myself because I could not. The name was right on my fucking tip of my tongue. Could not think of who it was. Maybe I don't have it here. Where did I write that? Oh, right here. James Bradbury. I can picture the player. I know he's played for the Panthers and the Giants. I just could not get the name. I kept wanting to say Jair Alexander, even though I knew obviously that's not Jair Alexander. That Jair Alexander plays for the Packers. We're really going off on a lot of tangents tonight. I don't know why. I took a nap today at like 6:30, which might have me like fired up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's week 13. We're just a train wreck at this point. All right, I in a tough spot here. Double flex league. We're gonna pick two of these guys: AJ Dillon, Latavius Murray, Nico Collins, or Drake London. So AJ Dillon's been ascending. He has been ascending. He's been playing better in recent weeks, which is great. But obviously, he's still playing well behind Aaron Jones. Latavius Murray, 82% of the snaps last week. That's his backfield. Now, Mike Boone is back this week as well, so we're going to see how much he plays. But I still expect Latavius to have a significant opportunity share. Nico Collins has been out targeting Brandon Cooks, I think it's 3 straight weeks now. And now Brandon Cooks is out. So he's going to get plenty of targets for that offense. But it's still Kyle Allen throwing the football. And they're still going to lean on the run game. Drake London has a Marcus Mariota problem. Marcus Mariota just refuses to throw to his best players. Even with Kyle Pitts out, the target share really hasn't gone up for Drake London. Yeah, tough spot. I agree. So let's go. I guess we'll go AJ Dillon. I guess we'll go Latavius Murray as well. Let's just go the running backs. But yeah, that one is tough. But that's what we're here for. We're here for the tough questions, right? Tua or Deshaun Watson, we're definitely going Tua. Debo Samuel or Cortland Sutton, it's Debo. Gibson or Zay Jones. You know what? I'm going to go Zay Jones there. Let's go Zay. Higbee or Jelani Woods. I'm still gonna go Higbee there, but I don't feel good about playing either of those guys. But I mean, hey, if you want to throw a flyer on Jelani Woods, who played fantastic last week, I have no problem with it. Tyler Higbee, I have no faith in him doing anything. So while I do have him ranked ahead of Jelani Woods, I mean, you're probably better off just rolling the dice and playing Woods, to be honest with you. Except the fact that you're going to either get 0, 3, or like 15 points. It's all or nothing. Logan Thomas, Dulcich, Tunyon, Hooper, Ingraham. Who the fuck is Ingraham? I don't even know who that was supposed to be. Oh, probably Evan Ingram. I gotcha. Logan Thomas, but we're going to stick with calling him Ingraham. I like that one. Ingraham. You know what? I think he's the answer. Let's go Ingram. Evan Ingram. We're going to do it. We're going to go Evan Ingram. Going against the Lions, let's just fuck it. Marvin Jones is being phased out of that offense. You can't feel good about any of these tight ends. They're all kind of just grouped together in this tier of just puke, where you could get a nice, 4 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown, or you could get 1 catch for 12. I mean, that's what that tier is. So I'll just go Evan Ingram / Ingraham. I'm never going to forget that. He's going to be Ingraham for the rest of my life. Let's see. What else do we got? Metcalf or Kirk? I'm going to go Metcalf. Pacheco or Knight, half PPR. I'm going to go Pacheco. I'm going to go Pacheco there. I just feel a lot better about his chances of having a nice 2 touchdown game, right? On YouTube, got a question. Cousins or Fields? I would definitely go Fields. Definitely go Fields. Even coming off the injury, I'm going Fields. Chubb or Eckler? Give me Chubb. Yeah. See, these are the baby leagues. Chubb or Eckler? They're both must starts. Like, come on. I mean, we really have to choose between Chubb and Eckler. They're both top 5 running backs. Yeah, no, we're gonna go Eckler. Eckler. I don't know what I was thinking. Eckler's my RB1 for the week. Chubb's my RB3. Why? Who else are you starting? Who else are you starting that you can't start both Eckler and Chubb? What the hell? I want an answer to that. What the hell? I'm waiting. What's your answer? Why can't you start both of those guys, Chubb and Eckler? I don't know. I'll never understand it. Kyrie Williams or Treylon Burks? I guess we'll go Kyrie Williams. Fields or Trevor Lawrence? We're going to go Fields. Sutton or Pickens? Let's just go Pickens. Etienne, Kamara, Taylor, start 2. Did I say, what did I call him? Etienne, Kamara, or Taylor? Give me Etienne and Jonathan Taylor. Just wanted to flex that he had both. I think you're right. I think we get some of those questions. I have these stud running backs. He just wants to brag. I agree. I hope that's what it is. Otherwise, he's playing in a 2-person league. Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, Chubb, and Eckler. Oh, it's a trade question. Christian McCaffrey and Barkley for Chubb and Eckler. Yeah, I'll take Chubb and Eckler on that deal. Chubb and Eckler, definitely. I talked about Chubb this week as a buy in all formats, dynasty. If you're contending, redraft, go get him. He's already a top 5 running back in fantasy points per game, and now he's going to have an offense that's just going to be everybody's going up with the return of Deshaun Watson. Maybe not this week, just, kind of get Watson eased back in, but rest of season, they're all coming up. Even the running back, better offense, more scoring opportunities, more efficient offense, less stacked boxes. He's faced some of the most stacked boxes in the league. You're not going to be able to do that if you have to respect Deshaun Watson in the passing game with Donovan Peoples-Jones out over there and Amari Cooper out over there. And Njoku will be back streaking down the middle of the field. Kareem Hunt split out in the slot. I mean, you can't stack the box on Nick Chubb there, right? Swift or Pacheco? Fuck. Yeah, I have Swift ranked 2 spots ahead of Pacheco. I'll give the floor play to Swift. If you want a handful of receptions, nice safe floor, we'll go Swift. But if you want a chance to get those 2 touchdowns in a shootout against the Bengals, then you can go Pacheco. I think he's got a higher ceiling. But until he starts catching more passes, we can't confidently start him as a must play every week. But I think that eventually that is going to happen. They're going to get him more involved in the passing game. It is starting to happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen quickly enough for our liking. All right, we've been live for about almost an hour here. We'll go 5 more minutes till 11, and we'll wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I always do a show at like 12:15 all the way up to kickoff. Maybe I can get my whatever's going on with my camera here on YouTube. It just looks weird. It looks weird. I don't know why. The settings are exactly the same as they are every single week. I had this light on, but then I was like almost see-through. I was so white. I mean, I'm already naturally like as white as the freaking wall. This makes it even worse. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. The wall looks purple. Who fucking? Maybe it's just my screen. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know. Do I look like shit? Who knows? Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Waddle, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, pick 2. This guy's also in a baby league. Oh, I lost the question. Shit. Oh, here we go. Etienne, Kamara, Waddle, Kirk, Godwin, pick 2. We're definitely going Jalen Waddle. Or always going Jalen Waddle. I want to say ETN so bad. If we had a fully healthy, no doubt about it, good to go, full roll Travis Etienne, I'd be smashing him against the Lions. But the injury makes me a little bit concerned. So I might go Godwin over ETN, but it's really close. I want to go ETN so bad. But I think we'll just go Godwin there. Waddle and Godwin. But if you feel okay about the ETN injury, I would definitely play him. On YouTube, thoughts on Jameson Williams this week? We did talk about this a few minutes ago, but I'll repeat because I know people come in and out of the show. Jameson Williams, I am not playing Jameson Williams until I see it. He's a wait and see because 1, he's a rookie. 2, he's coming off a major injury, a ACL. He tore his ACL less than a year ago. So he's a rookie coming off a major injury. Never played a down in the NFL, obviously. Not even in the preseason. He didn't practice in training camp or in OTAs. He wasn't with the team. He was rehabbing. So he's been practicing for what, 2 weeks? And then, DJ Chark, he played well last week coming off his injury. I think that's like a similar role. That's the role that Jameson Williams is. That's the role that Jameson Williams is trying to get, right? It's the Chark role. The field stretcher, down the field, outside the numbers role. So I have zero confidence in playing Jameson Williams this week. I'm just waiting and seeing. I'm definitely stashing where I can. But for week 13, unless it's like a really deep league that starts a lot of players, he's going to be on my bench. Damian Pierce or Jonathan Taylor? Let's go Jonathan Taylor. Debo, Rashad White, or Najee Harris. I'll still go Debo there. If Debo's healthy and Debo's playing, we're going to play Debo. Jaylen Warren or Cam Akers. So this guy is doing the opposite of the Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler guy. He's letting us know either one, his running backs suck, or two, he plays in a real league that actually has difficult decisions, which is way better than these other leagues. Anyway, Jaylen Warren or Cam Akers. So, first of all, gross, right? Disgusting. Jaylen Warren, I think he's going to be good to go. I know he's questionable, but I believe he practiced in full at least once this week, so he should be good to go. Got Najee Harris coming off his injury. Jaylen Warren has played well when given the opportunity. Cam Akers, not so much. That offense is putrid. He played only 30% of the snaps last week behind Kyren Williams. So I'm going to go Jaylen Warren. Against the Falcons, neither one of these are great plays. But I feel much better about Jaylen Warren than Cam Akers. That's hard for me to say, because if you followed me at all, you know I have a thing for Cam Akers, or I had one. That's way gone. I will never tout Cam Akers again, but we're going to go Jaylen Warren here. Fields or Burrow? We had this question earlier, right? I pretty much said flip a coin because they're both top 5 quarterbacks this week. I do have Joe Burrow ranked 1 spot ahead of Justin Fields. Now, if it wasn't for coming off the injury for Justin Fields, I know it's his non-throwing shoulder, that's good. But I'm worried that maybe he holds back on running a little bit compared to normal just because of the injury. So that's the only reason I would start Burrow over Fields. But they're both fantastic plays, top 5 quarterbacks this week. I am going Burrow over Fields, but it's very, very close. All right. I think that's a good place to stop. We'll be back tomorrow, 12:15, like we always do, all the way up to kickoff, answering your questions. If I didn't get to your question, just go to yardsperfantasy.com, download the Yards Per Fantasy app. You can find all my rankings on there. We have a trade calculator. We have a start-sit tool, which is basically just what you're doing here is asking the question, except you don't have to listen to me rant and talk about it. You just get the answer. It compares both players to my rankings as well as the Fantasy Pros consensus. So you get to see both. It tells you who we have ranked ahead. So it's a great tool. It's yardsperfantasy.com/start-sit. Like I said, just download the Yards Per Fantasy app. It's so easy. It's just right there in your hand. Pull out our trade calculator, pull out the start-sit tool, my rankings, bunch of articles from myself and all the guys that we have working on the team. But shout out to our team. Our team is just Matt Flowers, our director of content. He is just an absolute workhorse. Don't know what we do without him, to be honest with you. But we're going to find out. He's going on vacation or something for a month, the rest of the season. So we're going to miss him for that month. But very, very fortunate to have Matt Flowers. But I could say that about a bunch of our guys. Drew, Britt, Zach, Dennis, all these guys. Derek is absolutely killing it. Derek Helm at the Helm Sports. Absolutely killing it with the DFS content. Nick Spinola recently, last few weeks, he's just been working as hard as anybody with his excellent articles. And we have a bunch of other guys that I don't even have time to talk about them all. Just absolutely killing it. I'm so proud of everything we're doing. And we have more shows on the Yards Per Fantasy Network on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search Yards Per Fantasy, or in your podcast app, just search for Yards Per Fantasy. We got the Coach Approach with Coach Bruce and Brett. We got the Units Per podcast, which talks about betting, both college and the NFL. Every week they give us their top bets of the week. And we got the Leftovers Fantasy podcast as well with Zach and Dennis. So good. So good. And then you got my 3 shows, probably the worst of them all, right? So I appreciate everybody that's working for the Yards Per Fantasy brand and everybody in the audience, all of you for supporting us. So, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12.